it's Yowie the skunk. It's time for another unboxing video with jawajames and me and baby Jawa. So let's get into this bag. All right, let's get the camera set. We got baby Jawa there. We got jawajames here. Hello. And this is, of course, Yowie the skunk. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another show. Hi, baby Jawa. Glad to see you doing. What you doing? Oh, you got some pens. You got a Chewbacca. You got your R2 beanie. Let's go into this Rebels bag. All right, so we've been busy the past couple weeks. There's been a lot going on in the world of Star Wars. Obviously, this past week they dropped those new character posters. If you follow me on Twitter or on Facebook, you saw I did my own rendition of one of the character posters with something up blocking my eye. Hopefully you know what it is. Let's get into Rebels. You saw the bag here. This was a cool Comic-Con gift from... I think 2 years ago. Yep, it's season 1 of Rebels. And let's get into last night's episode. It was Brotherhood of the Broken Horn. In that, Ezra gets a distress call from the Broken Horn, which is Vizago's ship. He and Chopper go check it out, and turns out that Hondo is aboard the ship and needs a little bit of help with the mission. Turns out, and Ezra, of course, plays it off by pretending to be Lando Calrissian. Then it turns out their little delivery mission goes south as Morgan betrays them, as he is wont to do. The truth comes out about Ezra. Chopper goes on a mad shooting spree, as he is wont to do. And then finally they get back to the ship. Turns out Vizago is still on board, and he cashes in that favor to get loose. But, all's well that ends well, right? Yeah, you want more? More Rebels. All right. So... yeah, I really enjoyed the episode. Of course, you might know that I'm a really big fan of Hondo Ohnaka, everyone's favorite pirate. Here we see a Hondo a little bit older. He doesn't have a crew, so maybe he's fallen on some hard times. But he takes to Ezra pretty well, even though Ezra deceives him right off the bat. There's some great lines like "You lied to me. I knew I liked you," and calling him semi-famous. There's lots of good stuff with Ezra always and Hondo. Always good to see Jim Cummings, the voice of Hondo, back. Yeah? Yes. Mwah. 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 Kisses for you guys. Thanks, Yowie. And here, you want that, Yowie? And then also James Hong is the voice of As Morgan. We got Vizago back, so this episode was full of the scum and villainy that makes the Star Wars universe so much fun. We got to see a different opportunity, a different path for Ezra, and at the end he recognizes, that's not the path for him. That he used to be kind of the loner scavenger type. Hondo basically says, "Hey, you can join my crew. You can be a pirate Jedi." You took off your hat. Yeah. You got a sniffle. But being a pirate is running away. But I think Ezra has learned that he's got some bigger responsibilities to being a Jedi and being a soldier, which gets back to having kind of two dads, that Kanan and then now his crazy Uncle Rex, teaching him to shoot. All right, moving on. What's in the bag? Well, first we got the letters S and W. They stand for Star Wars. You want these, baby girl? You can hang on to those. Oh boy, what else is in here? Ooh! We got the latest issue of Star Wars Insider. If you are a subscriber, you got the flip cover. It's issue number 161. There's some cool articles by Brian Young on Star Wars Infinity, an article on James Caan by Michael Kogi, and new short fiction by Janine Spenlove. It ties into the new novel Battlefront, Twilight Company, which I'll be talking about in a little bit. What else do we have in here? We've got the entire run of Star Wars Shattered Empire. This is a 4-issue comic that just finished up recently. It's part of the Journey to the Force Awakens program. It takes place at the end of Return of the Jedi, moving onwards from that. The main character is Lieutenant Shara Bay, who is a pilot for the Rebellion. She and her husband, Kes Dameron, so obviously they are the parents of Poe Dameron, hint, hint, that we'll see in The Force Awakens. He's a commando. He helps on the raid at the Endor bunker. She helps with the Battle of Endor up in space. they end up going on some extra missions afterwards for the Rebel Alliance as they are still trying to figure out, hey, we won, we killed the Emperor, but the Empire's still fighting. It turns out that the Emperor had a failsafe called Operation Cinder, which basically says, you know, let's just burn it all to the ground. Shara and Leia end up going to Naboo on a diplomatic mission. It comes under attack, and it turns out that Shara ends up being the flight leader for an emergency squadron thrown together of her, Princess Leia, and the Queen of Naboo as the only capable pilots to fly the only starships lying around to fend off the Empire's plan to ravage the planet. Eventually, in the end, Shara teams up with Luke on one more mission that is kind of a little bit personal, and then finally Shara and Kes get some much needed downtime. Shattered Empire was great. Greg Rucka wrote it, so definitely check it out. It is a lot of fun, and of course, it's leading into The Force Awakens. You get to see some of our favorite characters in action. Also finishing up this week was Star Wars Droid Tales, the Lego Star Wars Droid Tales animated specials on Disney XD. This week was something on Geonosis. Something began with a G. But it was 3PO's retelling of Return of the Jedi with a special guest narrator near the end as 3PO gets busy. Meanwhile, we find out that the Empire had its evil plan under General Veers to bring back a Geonosian battle droid factory and turn normal droids into battle droids, and we see how that turns out. And in the end, Akbar gets reunited with Daisy May. It's a lot of fun. Michael Price, one of the writers on The Simpsons, was the writer and executive producer of this series. It's a lot of fun. It takes the Star Wars universe. Are you just gonna throw all your pens off? All right, takes the Star Wars universe and makes some lightness with it, some humor, some fun stuff, poking a little fun here and there, pointing out some of the flaws. There's a great scene with Luke saying, "Hey, there's not a lot of girls in there. It must be Leia, must be my sister, because that's the only girl I know." And then Yoda's like, "Yeah, we're gonna work on that better for next time to have more women." So, just a little bit of ribbing, but it was a lot of fun, and it's great to see Anthony Daniels and Billy D. Williams do voices for it. What else do we have in the bag? Oh yeah, the big thing I want to talk about this week. This week was the release of the new Star Wars novel Battlefront Twilight Company by Alexander Freed. I got the cool patch here. I think it was a giveaway at New York Comic Con this year. Thanks to Trisha for sending me one of those. Twilight Company was a great read. I enjoyed it a lot. It is definitely military sci-fi. It puts the wars back into Star Wars. If you saw my review on Club Jade, I go on how I enjoyed it. Basically, it is the story of a couple of the frontline soldiers in the Rebel Alliance during the classic trilogy era as the rebellion is making advances and then retreating a bit. So the main character is a soldier named Hazram Namir. He's probably this guy right here on the cover. He starts off as a sort of a squad leader in the Rebel Alliance, and he's not really wedded to the Rebel ideal. He's more just a soldier. He's been fighting pretty much all his life as a soldier. The Rebel Alliance gave him a chance to take his fight off of his homeworld and learn to fight elsewhere. So he's seen all kinds of battle, but he doesn't really believe like the rest of the rebels around him do. We see him develop and train some new characters or some new trainees, new recruits like Roach, who's a cool character. She's a lot of fun, but he also has some other veterans alongside him. Brand, who's a former bounty hunter turned soldier. And it kind of grows, and you see him develop over time as he gets called into some leadership positions. He gets challenged with his views. Yeah? You want out? Okay, we're almost done. I'll get you out in a second. You can have the W back. Then Another point of view character that we get is a very Chalice. She is an Imperial governor who ends up with Twilight Company. She gets captured by them and then ends up basically defecting from the Empire, saying, "Hey, I know a lot of stuff about Imperial logistics. I can give you a set of targets that will help break the Empire and their ability to produce war material." Yeah, I know. The Empire's bad, huh? Yeah, you really want down. Okay, we'll get you out. So we see Twilight Company move through some big battles, some little battles. The focus really isn't on the battles so much as the interaction between the characters, especially after battles, between missions, as they rest, they recover, they mourn their losses. It has a very Band of Brothers or the Pacific type feel that we're seeing the frontline troops here. Yeah, baby girl, you want to show off your cool camel onesie? And as they progress, we do get to see the Battle of Hoth as Namir gets sent to Hoth without Twilight Company. He's on his own and just gets assigned because the Empire attacks. At that point, yeah, you want more Twilight Company? You want to hold on to the patch? Yeah, and it's pretty good. And at the end, there is, of course, a large battle, but we see how it all turns out for Twilight Company. What do they stand for? They're mostly just survivors. That they take on hard battles and they come away usually with a win, sometimes not, but they survive, they endure, and finally they're doing it for a cause that they believe in. So check it out. Alexander Freed is the author. It just came out this week. I think that's pretty much everything I wanted to cover this time. Yeah, where are you going? You want Yowie? But we're getting closer to the Force Awakens, so we'll see you later. All right, bye. Bye bye. Yeah.